Tonight I am going to demonstrate the Dorian Mode. Last night on my Facebook Live I jammed out improvised lead guitar using the Dorian, the minor pentatonic, the blues scale and the 𝗗cie𝗱𝗲 on a little backing track that I had composed and I rather cheekily called it Brighter Side of the Sun, so it's got a Gilmour-esque vibe to it. That backing track, the chord progression is an E minor to an A major just the whole way through it. And when I finish this live stream, I'm going to post a link to that backing track, which I invite you all just to click through and take a go at jamming over it. But what I wanted to do this evening was just take a little look at the Dorian Mode and how that can be used. Last week I done a Facebook Live with a short introduction to the modes, and the modes can be something that puts off an awful lot of guitar players from even trying to consider just what they're all about. My approach to understanding and learning the modes is to really understand what they are, first of all, where they derive from, and then park that to one side and then understand from a musical perspective where they fit in, and that's what we're going to take a look at this evening. The E Dorian Mode is this. Okay, so I'm going to play it in this position. Okay, and my first finger is on the 7th fret, third finger on the 9th fret, wee finger on the 10th fret, then I'm of string 5, then I'm shifting to string 4, and I'm playing first finger 7th fret, third finger 9th fret, and wee finger on the 11th fret, and then I'm shifting up to the 3rd string, first finger on the 7th fret, and then finishing on the 9th fret with my 3rd finger. Dorian Mode, the E Dorian Mode. So if you recall last week, what we looked at modes and where they derive and where they come from. And what a mode, simply put, is if you start on a major scale, the root note, and play it through all of the notes of the major scale. If you decide you like actually to start on a note that's not the root note, so I'm shifting to the D major scale. So in this case I'm starting on an E note, which is the 2nd note of the D major scale, and I'm simply playing through those notes. So I'm going from the 2nd note of the D major scale, which is an E note. I'm just playing those notes right through from the D note through the notes of the D major scale. So that's when we label, that's how we label that. We call that an E Dorian, okay, because it's rooted, or it originates or derives from the notes of the D major scale. But I want us to set that aside for a second, okay, because that's part of what I call the labeling system. Okay, so we have to call that something. We're playing the notes of the D major scale, but we're not actually playing a D major scale because we're not starting from the D note, the root note. So it has to be called something else because it is something else. And that's where this notion of the modes come. It's labeled as a Dorian, okay, because it's part of the D major scale, but it's not a D major scale, it's something else because we're not starting from the D. Within the context of this little backing track or tune, I'm going to play an E minor into an A major. So when we're in the key of E minor and we're looking for something to play over that, one thing that we might do is we might use an E minor pentatonic, we might use a blues scale, or in this case what I'm deciding to do is use the E Dorian. So even though it derives from the D major scale, I'm casting aside all thoughts and talk of D and just purely working within the context of the E, in this case E minor scale. So for all intents and purposes, this E Dorian is an E scale. and that's the musical context that I'm talking about that we need to fit this in to. We're doing the first part of understanding conceptually where the mode comes from, why we're calling that D Dorian, where it derives from, and then we're parking that. We're forgetting about that from this from a musical perspective, and now we're quite firmly in the world of E minor. Okay, we're just going to play it through, and I'm going to show you some little E Dorian licks that we can play through this. So that's an E Dorian. So it comes round to the E minor again. Okay, so there you can see the E Dorian there. There's a couple of examples just of actually picking out the notes and playing it. I'm going to post a link to that backing track, and I invite you just to click through and give that a go and see just how you get on.